Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Cline, and this week we have the 2025 Lexus LX 700h F Sport. This is Lexus' flagship SUV, and it now comes with a hybrid powertrain. When Lexus was working on the new LX, they wanted to focus on reliability, durability, and off-road performance. While we can't see into the future for how reliable and durable it's going to be in the long term, even though we have faith in Lexus, we can take a tour of it and take it off-road to see how it performs. So let's get into it. The 700h has a 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 engine paired with a high-torque electric motor, and that's going to give you 457 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. It only gets about 20 miles per gallon combined, which is only 1 mile per gallon better than the non-hybrid version. So I think that's something you should consider if you are between the hybrid or the non-hybrid version. But the really cool thing is this is Lexus' first hybrid system that has a starter and an alternator. So if for some reason the hybrid system isn't working, you can use the starter and just run on the engine, which I think is really cool. Our test vehicle has these 22-inch forged aluminum wheels and a multi-spoke design that look really nice with the exterior color that we were talking about. The LX 700h also has active height control and adaptive variable suspension that are going to give you better grip and traction off-road and better handling and stability on-road. So no matter what kind of surface you're on, you're going to have a comfortable ride. The LX has this really nifty feature called auto close doors, or soft close doors as it's known sometimes, where if you don't close the door all the way, it's going to grab it and pull it in so that the door is completely closed and you're ready to go. If there's one area where the LX is slightly compromised, I would say it is the cargo area, as controversial as that is to say. This is the cargo area with all of our stuff in it, but I wanted to leave our stuff so you can see just how much room you have. When you have these seats up, you only have 7 cubic feet of space, which really is not much room at all. Unfortunately, Lexus decided to do this little shelving system because down here is your hybrid battery. So that's why those seats are so compromised in headspace, because you're sitting on top of the hybrid battery. The nice thing is that these seats do fold down, which gives you a lot more space when they are all folded down. You get about 62 cubic feet if you put all of the seats down, and they do lay flat, even the second row. So you have a lot of usable space, but when you have these seats up, 7 cubic feet of space back here is really not a lot. You kind of have to choose between having a 3-row SUV or having an SUV with any cargo space at all. So I think that's something you have to consider if you do need that 3rd row and you do plan on using your cargo area a lot, which most people would in an SUV like this. Our test vehicle is finished in this Manganese Luster exterior paint, which I think looks really nice with the F Sport black mesh grille. There's also the triple beam LED headlamps that are on every Lexus vehicle. And I'm sure that you already know this, but this is a body-on-frame SUV, and it's basically the closest thing that we're getting to a 300 series Land Cruiser in America. The LX 700h has a towing capacity of 8,000 pounds, which is really nice to have. It also has the ability to raise and lower the suspension. I think it's up to about 4 inches. So if you're in an area where you want a lot more ground clearance, you can lift it up a lot. If you're trying to load a bunch of people and luggage into the car, you can go ahead and lower that, and it's going to make it really easy to get in and out of. Our test vehicle is about $121,000 with the addition of that exterior paint that we talked about, and it has a 25-speaker Mark Levinson sound system. If you were just to buy the F Sport as it comes, it starts at around $117,000. We have a nice set of running boards here, but I want you to hear how solid this door feels when you close it. So beefy, right? So well made. We're gonna get inside the LX and I'm gonna show you around, show you some of my favorite features of the interior. All right, now that we are inside the 700h, let's take a look at some of my favorite features. One thing that I think is important to note is that we have a cool box in here, and it actually opens on both sides, so you can keep your cool drinks in there, or if you're like me, you can keep your cake in there. There is something controversial about the interior, and I have a lot to say about it. These 2 screens have been getting a lot of hate on the internet, and I understand why. It kind of looks strange that you have a whole screen here and a whole screen here, but hear me out. They both serve very different purposes. This top screen, as you can see, is where you're going to control your music, some of your car settings, your massaging seats get turned on up there, and that's really all that does. You have your volume button. Then when you come down here, the screen controls a whole bunch of different stuff. This is where you're going to do the climate controls. This is where all of your off-road settings are going to be controlled. And then it also has some more features where you can like change the colors and change the display settings. But this screen does totally different things than this one does. And I think that if they were all combined into one, you would spend a lot of time hunting through menus to try and change one thing. So even though it's probably not everyone's favorite design, I think that it makes a lot of sense. Now, more of your climate controls are down here, your massaging seats are here, some of your charging ports, but all of your off-road stuff is going to be here. Your multi-terrain select button, your drive mode, you're going to use this to select your drive modes. Then your downhill assist control and your crawl control are over here. So everything has its place, and I do think that it makes a lot of sense the way that Lexus designed it, even if it's not everyone's favorite right off the bat. This is the circuit red interior, and then you do have your multi-terrain monitor, which you guys know that I love. This is going to show you all around the car, and that camera view is going to be on this big screen up here, but you get a really good view of everything that is around the car, in front of the car, and when you're in your off-road modes, it can show you what's on the side of the tires, really everything in a 360 view on the outside of the car, so you don't have to get out and check what is around you. The 700h F Sport has a seating capacity of 7, so this second row has room for 3. You can see how I fit back here with my driver's seat in the position that I'm comfortable in. I'm 5'6" and I have plenty of space back here, plenty of headroom. You're gonna have a quad zone climate control that actually works really well. I was in the 3rd row earlier and it works really well. You also have heated and ventilated seats back here, and everything can be controlled in the center console up here. There's also a couple of chargers, and I do think that the second row is really comfortable. All right, we're gonna get into the 3rd row now. One swift motion. All right, so this is the 3rd row, and there's only 2 seats back here, so it folds 50-50. But as you can see, there is not much headroom back here. It's still pretty comfortable. There's cup holders, there's chargers, there's plenty of air conditioning, but you're kind of like shoved back here, and the way that the seat sits on the floor and how little headroom you have, I probably wouldn't put someone back here who is over 5'8" unless you really don't like them, which is fine. If you don't like them, you can shove them back here. The only thing left to do is take it for a ride. We are going to take the LX 700H off-road a little bit, and first we're going to use this multi-terrain select button, which is right here, and we are going to put it into sand mode because we are going into the sand. And I'm going to use the multi-terrain monitor so we can see what's in front of us. We're going straight down. So this back area is pretty sandy. Sandier than I thought it was going to be, but so far the LX has handled it really well. You can kind of see where the steering wheel is while we're out here, but so far it has actually been really fun. You kind of feel like you're ice skating, but you're on sand, if you will. And some of these areas are not quite as sandy, but overall it's pretty deep back here. Usually we're in more like of a dirt area than just like pure white sand like this. So I'm not quite as used to this. But overall, this thing is really capable. I don't know what I thought. Obviously it's capable. It's like a more luxurious 300 series Land Cruiser, but it feels really good and really competent out here. And with the multi-terrain select, there are a ton of different options that you can choose from. There's dirt, there's sand, which we are in now, obviously. There's deep snow, and then there's an auto one where it kind of like will select stuff for you. But as you can see, we are like jamming through here pretty well. Then you also have your standard drive modes. So you have like Eco and Sport, and there's even a Sport Plus mode. Then over here you have your downhill assist control and your crawl control. And then this is a torsion center locking diff button. And then you also have the ability to raise and lower the SUV. So if you want more ground clearance in general, you can do that. Or if you want to lower it, if you're trying to load a bunch of people or things into the car, you can do that as well. But that's telling us that there's cross traffic, which I think is cool. I love the Lexus safety system suite of safety features, like the road sign assist, you have your cross detection, you have your lane keep assist, basically everything standard that you would want in an SUV. But even when you're just driving on the street, it's actually really comfortable, and the suspension really soaks up a lot of those bumps. I was talking to someone on the interwebs, and they asked like how it handled on the road, because we all know the LX is pretty competent when you go off-road. But I said that I would feel comfortable drinking a hot coffee in this car while going over bumps. I think that it just feels really comfy and kind of floaty, but not in a bad way. This is a hybrid, but right now we're getting 14.8 miles per gallon average, which I wouldn't say is exceptional by any means, but it's good enough, if you will. The seats are comfortable, these are massaging, but I've actually really enjoyed the LX. I do love a Lexus, but this is my first time driving the LX, and especially the 700H because it's so new, and I've been very impressed with the on and off-road handling of this little guy. Plus, it's pretty fast. All right, so it's keeping us in the lines. It's keeping us like far enough away from the car in front of us, which we're coming up to a red light, so we'll see how it does. We're staying like very hardcore in between the lines though, which I'm impressed with, because some of the systems tend to kind of ping pong you from one side of the lane to the other. Okay, it recognized that. It's stopping us. It's stopping us. It's stopping us. Oh my God, that's really scary. Oh God. Okay, it's doing this. It's not me. Wow, it's actually doing a really good job, even though I'm really freaked out by it. I'm just very impressed at how well it's handling overall. The braking is probably on me because I don't like when it doesn't brake when we get too close. Lines, we're gonna go through a curve right now. My hands are on the wheel, you're fine. How do you hold this so that it like registers your hands without like you doing anything? Perfect. It's telling us that we are entering a school zone, which we are, but it's a Saturday. All right, we're coming up to a red light. Okay, did not register the red light at all. Okay, I think that's enough of adaptive cruise control trials and tribulations for this Saturday afternoon. But I'm actually very proud of how it performed with that. I wasn't expecting it to be so good. I have tried a lot of these adaptive cruise control systems over the last 6 months or so, and they do continue to get better. This is a 2025 model, obviously, so I do think that the 2025s are improved over the 2024 models, but that was a valiant effort, and I think that the LX did a great job. I think if you spent a good month in this car and learned exactly how the system worked and exactly what it wanted from you so that it could perform at its best, it would be pretty perfect. So great job, LX. Great job, Lexus. So that is the 700H in a nutshell. We've gone over the exterior and the interior, and we've taken it for a ride. And I really do think that Lexus did a great job of making this a super quiet, comfortable, luxurious family SUV that also has a ton of off-road capability. I think that really the only drawback is gonna be the cargo area, but if the LX is the SUV that you're looking for, I think that you're gonna be able to get over the cargo area because of that shelving system and everything else that the LX has to offer. If you have any questions, feel free to leave one in a comment. Please subscribe and check out some of our other reviews. My name is Amanda Cline. Thank you for watching.